If you are feeling like it is so much harder to lose the baby weight than it was at any point in your life to lose weight, you're probably not imagining it. It's because it is hard, and it is likely harder than any other time you did try to lose weight, but it's probably not for the reasons that you are thinking. Hi, my name is Nicole. If you're new here, I am a personal trainer, online fitness coach, and a mom to 5 babies. And 80% of my clients are moms, and dealing with postpartum weight loss is something that I take on the regular as a coach. So today I'm going to be educating you on why it actually is harder to lose weight postpartum, and also just debunk some myths and give you some tips to make it easier along the way. Let's get into number one. Number one is going to be your hormones. Now, I know that there is a lot of talk on social media all the time about hormones, cortisol phase, and I often think that the hormone card is overplayed, but I do want to touch on a couple things here. After you give birth, estrogen and progesterone drop drastically. This can affect things like your mood, your metabolism, water retention. Cortisol also is likely raised. That is your stress hormone. This could be from things like lack of sleep, obviously dealing with a new baby. Any mental load like that is going to increase your cortisol just naturally. Something that I feel like isn't talked about too much is your thyroid function postpartum. Some women deal with some increased thyroid issues postpartum. And then another one that's not really talked about is your insulin sensitivity. So I want you to take this with a grain of salt, because it's not just a one size fits all. Just because these things can happen postpartum doesn't mean it's the reason why you are not losing weight. But your insulin sensitivity can change postpartum, especially if you had gestational diabetes, which obviously will impact how your body uses carbs as energy or stores fat. I know how much of a struggle this can be because your body just feels so unbelievably different. I remember feeling like a complete stranger in my body for a very long time postpartum, but you have to remember your body is different. Your body now requires different things. Your lifestyle now requires a different approach. Number two is you are focusing on cardio. Now listen, cardio is great. It's great for your cardiovascular health. However, if you're trying to run off the baby weight, it is a losing strategy. Cardio burns more calories in the moment, but it doesn't give you that lifelong sustainable result that you're looking for. You want your body to build muscle. That way it can burn more calories just at rest. Also, muscle is metabolically active, which just means that, like I said, it burns more calories at rest. So you can either try to run off all of the calories or do nothing and burn the same amount of calories by building muscle. Not to mention, when you're postpartum, strength training allows you to build that strength back, especially within our core. And strength training is going to give you that body recomposition that you're looking for, not running and running. Also, if you're doing way too much cardio and not having enough fuel, that's just going to increase your cortisol, more stress on the body. It's going to be harder to lose fat. So incorporating strength training, walking, and even if you want, short bursts of cardio are going to give you the best results. I do not think that walking is highlighted enough in postpartum. The sooner that you can at least start walking and moving your body, the better. I think that this is what significantly helped me with my C-section recovery with my first. I got out and took her on walks as soon as I could. I'm not sitting there trying to jog with the stroller. I'm not like setting a goal for myself on my Apple Watch. I'm just making it a point to get her outside and start walking. Walking is a huge underlying factor for weight loss and a contributor for weight loss that doesn't involve you trying to burn off all of these extra calories. You shouldn't equate sweating with cardio as progress for your body. In this moment, postpartum, your body needs recovery and strength being built. Number three is going to be your inconsistency. Listen, I know this one is common whether you are postpartum or not, but hear me out. Progress comes from consistency, not perfection. Those things are not the same. Doing something every week 3 times consistently versus doing it 2 times one week, 4 times another, once one week, then none the next week is going to get you far better results than being inconsistent. Your hormones, your sleep schedule, now that the baby is here, all make your consistency so much harder. So you do need to adjust your expectation. Even workouts 3 to 4 times a week plus good nutrition, adequate nutrition, proper nutrition done consistently is so much better than you going all in one week and then all out another, and then trying to figure out how to redo it again and then redo it again. And another thing, mom consistency looks different from everyone else's consistency. Sometimes you are only going to be able to get in 20 minutes while the baby naps, and that's fine. Sometimes your workout is going to be you taking a 30-minute walk outside because the baby will not stop crying and is calm in a stroller. You showing up time over time is your consistency. What's not your consistency is you trying to show up 100% perfect every single day, because it's unrealistic and it's not going to happen. One of the things that I think is the most hard postpartum is not necessarily showing up and not knowing what to do, but it's showing up and not having the energy or structure to do it. It's not about doing it perfectly, but it is about doing it when it's not convenient for you. You're not lazy, you're just trying to juggle everything at once. Number 4 is going to be you are approaching core training completely wrong. Most people will go into training your abs or your core with sit-ups, crunches, things like that, and that's great, but if you have something like diastasis recti, it could also make this so much worse unless it's healed properly first. You have to remember that your core is more than just your abs. Proper core training is things like core engagement, breathing, and regaining that stability in your core. So you really want to focus on reconnecting those specific muscles. That's what's going to give you the foundation of what it is I think you're trying to achieve. You'll improve your overall strength, posture, stability. I personally don't have any of my clients going straight for crunches or planks right when they're postpartum. We specifically work on targeted core engagement and foundational building, because when you're trying to heal your core, imagine it like you're trying to build a house. And instead of the first step being laying the bricks and the cement, you just show up to where the house is supposed to be with paint. There's nothing to paint. There's no foundation. There's no cement that was laid for the house to even be built. You don't have that foundation. Okay, number 5, and arguably the most important, is going to be your life is different. Sleep deprivation, stress, time constraints, these are all big factors into your fitness journey. Movement patterns may be different and they may need to be adjusted in a way that they didn't before. If you're breastfeeding, obviously this is a huge contributor to what your body needs for fuel. You need to understand that the old you had different capacity and mental constraints than what you do now. This is again where I want you to lower your expectations while still putting your needs first. I explain this to all of my mom clients that it is the most important thing to make sure that you are taken care of along with your baby. Your needs and your well-being should not and does not go out the window just because you're trying to care for a newborn. The difference is your season of life is different now. Your season of life when you were pregnant was different before you got pregnant. So adjusting to those seasons is what's going to give you the most amount of success. If you know that your baby is having trouble sleeping through the night and every night wakes up on the dot at 3 a.m., 12 a.m. and 2 a.m., don't expect to wake up at 5 a.m. to get a workout in on 2 hours of sleep. Where else can you fit in that workout within your schedule? If you were supposed to work out that morning, do you now just say, well, forget it, I'm not going to do anything? Or are you going to choose to go for a walk because that's what's doable in that moment? Especially with my C-section moms, myself included, a lot of them can experience numbness, tightness, or just lack of feeling in the incision area, which can also make it harder for your core to feel engaged properly. You have to understand that when you have a C-section, your abdominal wall is cut completely through, and the nerves, the fascia, the muscle can take a longer time to reconnect. So starting with things like breathing exercises, pelvic floor connections. When it comes to exercises, instead of crunches and sit-ups, think of things like dead bugs, bird dogs, heel slides, glute bridges, things like that. And let's take a common sense approach with this for a second. With all that being said, your life has changed, your body has changed, your routine also needs to change for success. There's nothing wrong with any of that changing, but your approach has to change, and you have to work with your body and your new life if you want to be consistent, because if you're not consistent, none of it's going to work anyway. If you have any specific questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. I will put my Instagram right here. If you found this video helpful at all or are taking any tip, I would love to know in the comments below what tip you are going to be trying to implement. But until then, I will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!